Yes.
Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Sorry. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're a new viewer here, thank you so much for joining us today. Now, whether you see it as good or bad, I'm still working my full-time job while still being able to push out weekly videos on YouTube and occasionally post photos on Instagram. However, not everyone is as lucky as I am to be able to be doing this. So with that in mind, I decided to reach out to a few creators and try to get a feel of how they're coping with the coronavirus pandemic that's going on.
So hi, good day everyone. This is Dane from Dane Studios. I'm a photographer and I take awesome photos.
Hi everyone, my name is Shanique Mahabi and I am an aerial acrobat and also a sales rep.
Good evening guys, my name is Michael Lynch and I'm a photographer.
My name is Raman Big Z Lewis. I am a music producer. I'm also a photographer and a videographer.
Hi guys, my name is Chris Morris from CM Studios. I'm a cinematographer / photographer, and I'm also a full-time compliance analyst.
Hey, Wagwan. This is Taishan from T-Tracy Media.
Wagwan peeps, I'm Sheldon Gibson, videographer and photographer.
A friend of mine on Instagram, his page is called OC Imaging. He reached out to me and asked me to do a quick questionnaire on the crisis that's happening in and around us now and how it's affecting us. It's kind of tough, I'm gonna be honest with you. We have a curfew right now. It's from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and a lot of people work night shifts. A lot of people work overtime, extended hours, and not all of us can afford to work from home. So that, for one, has crippled our source of income. In addition to that, a lot of us work from paycheck to paycheck, and not knowing where, when, or if the next paycheck is coming is pretty crazy.
It has been, I would say, devastating. You know, this whole lockdown thing. Not everyone can get accustomed to it, but little by little, I'm trying to get used to it. Some persons are actually following it. Some persons are saying that it doesn't make sense, but I personally think it's a good procedure.
All right, so I live in Atlanta, and it's with the pandemic. It's not really. I don't know. I just came here, and you know, everywhere shut down. You see me? I go on. Everywhere shut down. The only thing going on is Walmart and supermarkets and you know, places you can get food, essential services.
What's it like in my parish? Well, it is awesome. Most persons are staying in. I for one only go out once a week, maybe. We go to the supermarket, or we might take a quick trip to the bank, but it's just for the ABM. We don't really go inside because the line is too long. So I do mainly online banking. I pay all my bills online, and I do most of the banking online, unless I need hard cash. And well, you know, everyone is broke, so we don't really need to go to the bank.
I'm from Kingston, Jamaica, and obviously, you know, with what we have been experiencing since recently, my community, I would say, is relatively calm. You know, persons are still taking necessary precautions to be as safe as possible, not only to protect themselves, but also their families. I would also say it has been a culture shock for most of us. You know, a lot of us are used to getting up every day to go to work. A lot of that has been taken away from us. And so, you know, we hear it in the news, persons are losing their jobs, kids can't go to school, even though a lot of us have internet. So now a lot of parents have to be homeschooling. You know, so in general, I would say things are, it's calm, but it's rough at the same time. But I think a lot of us are coping, and we all know that it's all in our best interest.
So I'm in Montego Bay. My parish is Montego Bay. And so far, I've seen the majority of the people in Montego Bay actually following the rules and regulations and stuff due to the whole lockdown situation and curfew. But not everybody. You know that we are still Jamaicans and still have the unruly mentality. So you have 1 or 2 people will come in like after 7, after 8, when one curfew starts 6 o'clock. When the curfew actually starts 6 o'clock and stuff there. So yeah, you still have them little stragglers there, but for the majority, in a Montego Bay, I see them actually follow the rules, and yeah, I'm actually like that.
Alright, so fortunately, before I came to Atlanta, I had shot quite a number of projects, you know, a few months before, you know, leading up to me moving, and even up to a week before I left, I was still shooting and you know doing some work. So when all this started, the only thing that I could do, you know, because I had so much work on my hand, was to edit and, you know, put out materials.
I haven't been able to perform because all the hotels closed down like a week after it all started. So I haven't performed since then. And how do I keep myself, you know, fit and everything? Well, I have to exercise every day. I have to stretch, and I have to work my abs and my core strength, you know, so I have to stay fit if I want to be able to go back, you know, in my area of acrobatics when we're done. For my sales job, my company pulled me off the street. That's because I was a field agent at the time, and my company pulled me off the street right away. So now I do online sales and marketing. So thank God I am still working, you know, so I'm blessed.
Yes, I do work aside from creating content. My main job right now is actually as a salesperson for one of the major automotive companies in Jamaica. It's still kind of tough with what's going on, I'm gonna be honest, but I still do have a job right now. Has what's happening affected me creating content? Yes. I consider myself to be majorly an automotive photographer. Car events, models and cars. I just love cars, so I shoot them. I'm not able to go out as much and shoot as I'd like to, and that's the main thing for us. I'm learning as I go along to work with what I have, and I try to learn from everybody else with what they do. So it's affected me greatly, but I'm pushing through it.
So definitely yes, because yeah, as you and I already know, I know we would have a couple of contents. I'll be inside, not taking any photos. Just pretty much working from home, playing games. That's my new routine.
Now, obviously, all of us as content creators are affected by what's happening. As it relates to me, most of my work are usually done on the weekends because I already have a full-time job. And so that is affected. Already I'm getting a lot of events that are rescheduled until later this year. So there's still a lot of uncertainty. I still use it as an opportunity to work on a lot of things that I've always wanted to work on. So this has been, even though it's a bad situation, but it's also good timing, you know, in terms of, you know, business-wise. So working on a lot of stuff to get better. And at the same time, I'm getting a lot of rest. Now I can tell you, I did not know how tired I was until now. You know, I've been working consistently throughout my 9 to 5 and also trying to build my business. And so I've been getting a lot of rest. Since recently, I've totally taken a break from social media. I haven't really been posting anything. Just using the time to spend more time with the family, with the kids, and to just rest my body, because I really and truly haven't been doing that, for the longest while. So I would say in terms of promoting a business, yes, like most of us, we are affected by it. But at the same time, I think it's a good opportunity for us to just reflect on what we have achieved, to just step back, relax, work on the things that we need to work on to get better, so that once the gates are opened, because it will open at some point, then we'll all be in a much better position.
Basically, the pandemic is the same right across the board, because I'm in Kingston right now, and yeah, lockdown, essentials going to work, curfews, certain times of being inside, and it does take a toll on the creativeness. Let's say if I want to go out in the streets, probably can't, because it's not an essential task to go and take pictures of landscape and everything there. So yeah, it's kind of confining us, but you make the best out of it and do what you need to do to survive. I do work apart from creating content, and I'm an essential worker in the telecoms industry, so I'm out every day. So still, most of my day is at work, and then coming home now, it's probably to edit something from my archive and then push out on Instagram. Yeah, no, hardly any new content is being generated right now. I just have a lot in the archive, and that's what I'm working with right now.
Now, if you watch one of my previous videos, you'll know that the cancellations, when they started rolling in, this was crazy to me, because I was at the point now where I'm really starting to explore in photography, and then being linked with 2 other photographers who always get jobs. I was gonna be there with them as the videographer. So this was just kind of blossoming, and then here comes the coronavirus.
I was scared, okay? For my sales job, most of my prospecting activities got canceled, and I started to panic. And for my acrobatics job, all those is canceled right away. Yeah, and I was really scared. I was sad. I was worried. I didn't know, because I was just worried, because I thought that we would basically, maybe start starving or something, because then all the jobs would be gone and everything. And yeah, I panicked. I didn't really do the panic buying thing, but there was a high amount of panic.
Well, it was definitely something to think about. I had so many events, shows, personal shoots, wedding, funerals, you name it. I had some of my biggest events, but everything got cancelled. Not much that I can do, but just have to wait and see what will happen.
For one, I didn't have any major or anything planned shoot-wise. I was just winging it because I'm pretty new in the business, so no cancellations were coming in yet.
When I started taking it serious, I started taking it serious the moment I started hearing about it, especially when my showcases got canceled and my shows, I took it serious right away, because I knew that if we weren't able to work, it wouldn't be good. But thankfully, it's not as bad as it seems, and it's not as hard as it seemed at the beginning. At the beginning, it seemed really hard, but no, we're getting the hang of it. Definitely getting the hang of it.
To be honest, it was when I realized that it's not just gonna mess me up. I could contract it and be okay, pass it on to my family, and they not be okay. So that was when it hit.
Well, when I started taking this serious, the pandemic serious, From day one, basically, because the news was there, as in from China, and then you get some news from European side, and like, yeah, it's a real thing. So just when it got to Jamaica, you're like, yeah, even more serious. Just take precaution, sanitize, do all the things that was supposed to do, and lock up your yard and follow the curfew.
Now, I started to take things seriously when we had our first case here in Jamaica. Obviously, you know, we have been keeping up to date with what was happening in China, the US, UK, Italy, etc. And so the moment we had our first case here, I realized that something big was about to happen. And so I started to wear my mask long before, you know, a lot of persons, and before it was even announced by the government.
To be honest, when you know, the first set of information, you know, started to come out, I was not taking it seriously, because the information was that people of African descent would not be, you know, affected seriously by this. But yes, I really started though to take it seriously when, you know, I saw what was happening in New York. I also had, you know, a friend, you know, calling me up, telling me that his mom had passed in Philadelphia. He was in New York and went to stay with his mom in Philly, and, you know, end up infecting her, and she didn't survive because he didn't know he had anything. So, you know, that was even a wake-up call for me, and you know, I wanted to protect my mom, so I went into defense mode immediately.
Well, I started to take the Kairos seriously from like the get-go. Like from I started to hear about it on TV before it was even in Jamaica. I took it serious because people are dying. Anywhere that you hear like somebody's dying due to a virus or some tragic event, you're going to take it serious. Well, I take it seriously. So yeah, from the get-go.
I have learned so much. I've learned so much about persons. I've learned so much about how people on a whole deal with stress. I've learned that it is important to save, and I will definitely be doing more savings. And I learned that it is important to have an emergency income for instances like this. And I also learned that it is important to have faith. That is key.
From a business perspective, I think it's also a good opportunity for all of us to look back at our business, what we have been doing for the last few months or years, and make necessary changes. All of us have weaknesses, so it's a good time for us also to work on our business, so that when the time is right, we'll all be in a better position.
Yes, I think everyone will take something away from this lockdown period, as in the self-reflection that happened in, and all the different methods of achieving the daily tasks. It will have an impact, but I'm guessing for the short term, you know what I mean? So probably for the rest of the year, people will consider to what they do, but probably come by next year when everything settles down again, hopefully it'll be kind of back to normal how we used to this stuff. That's my thought.
Being in a crisis allows you to understand that if you're doing something that you don't love, a crisis open your eyes and say, listen to me, the world can end tomorrow, can hit the fan, and there's nothing you can do about it. So are you gonna be sitting somewhere doing something that you don't love? Probably not. So yes, people will make personal changes for the better, physical changes for the better, I've started doing some workouts, something I've been wanting to do for the longest time. And I've started doing some workouts on my rooftop. Not only that, if you're around people, if you're in a place, or whether it is mentally or physically, or you're just around people who you find that are beneficial to your life, and it'll literally take a crisis for you to realize that this is not what I want. I need to move. People will no longer be comfortable being comfortable, and that's the better that I think can come from it.
Right now is the time to reflect. Right now is the time to go educate yourself on something that you didn't know before. Because the internet is still there. Everything else is still there. There are books you can read. Stop being an idiot, yo. I see so many people being so ignorant and selfish. And it just makes the country look so terrible when you're abroad and a foreigner shows you, hey, look, there's somebody from Jamaica running from quarantine. People in Portmore running over to a different parish because the parish is being placed under quarantine. Yo, that crazy, Bridget. Just, Jano, I don't think more want to get no real advice today. We need to stop the foolishness, isn't it? We know better. Just behave accordingly, please. Please, Jamaica, behave accordingly.
If I could address the nation, I would say, please turn your yard. No bother with the unruly business, no bother with the hype and stuff there. Try to keep no social distance, man.
I would tell them to stand at them yard. Yes, I would say stay home. If you have to leave, maybe have one person that should leave the house. And if you need to buy things, you can go online to buy things. You can go to coolmarket.com and order whatever it is that you would like. Yes. You can just tell them that I sent you. I would also tell them to be more prepared financially for a situation like this. You know, don't just depend on the government, depend on yourself as well. Right.
To the nation, I would just say, you know, just abide by the necessary rules, keep safe, protect yourself, wear your mask.
Stay clean, my friends. Stay clean. Wash your hands. Try not to mingle as much as you used to. As a youth, in a street and see a nice hot cat, because even this we're afraid to do nowadays. You go step to her. Kind of control the urges. And for the most part, stay indoors as much as possible and bond with who are around you. And allow yourself to see how precious the little that is the much you have now.
I just want to thank everybody who participated. I want to thank everybody who's watching. I want you guys more so than ever before to live by the mantra that I say at the end of all my videos.
Live, love, and laugh. Thanks.
Live, love, and laugh. Coming from Generation Media Group.
Guys, live, love, laugh. See ya.
Just believe, live, love, laugh, and be good.
Live, love, and laugh.
Live, love, and laugh. Enjoy.